So for my project, I documented Kalo varieties in Waihole Valley. So the lo'i where I documented Kalo is situated along the Waihole stream in the back of Waihole Valley. So here are some varieties that grow at the lo'i. So down here in the middle, we have Lena Lena, the variegated green variety on the left. Next, the purplish green variety, Manalaloa, then Yut Lapar, that's the red variety, and then Lihi Lihi Molina. These are just a few varieties that grow in the valley. So here's a diagram of Kalo. Some important parts to recognize are the ha, or the petiole leaf stalk, the pico, the point where the petiole and the upper leaf surface are joined, the sinus, this is the top part of the leaf where it splits, but this is actually called the leaf base, the corm, a swollen underground storage stem, the oha, this is a bud of the corm. In some varieties, it's produced by a horizontal rhizome or runner, and then the leaf, which is lao or luau. So the life cycle of Kalo. So you make a cutting, you plant that cutting, it establishes itself, grows its new leaves, and then it goes through a vegetative stage where the plant gets taller and the leaves grow bigger. And also during this stage, the roots will develop more. And then during the maturity stage, the plant will actually shrink down and the leaves get smaller and you get a large corm at the end. So Kalo takes about generally 12 months to mature, but some varieties may take longer or shorter. So the natural history of Kalo. So it's been cultivated here for over 1,000 years. It was originally introduced by Polynesians, and it was one of the most important food crops grown on the Hawaiian Islands. It was also culturally significant because it ties into Hawaiian origin stories. It was propagated in the lowland and upland areas. So in the lowlands, it's propagated in irrigated patches, and in the uplands, it's grown on slopes in the mountains in areas where there's adequate rainfall. And then some more natural history. Here we are. So the height of Kalo diversity was in 1778. This was also when Europeans contacted Hawaii. At this time, the Hawaiian population was also at its peak, around 1 million people, and there was over 400 Hawaiian varieties. But with the European contact, there was the introduction of diseases, which led to 90% of the Hawaiian population collapsing, and also the decline in Kalo diversity. So today there's only around 70 Hawaiian varieties left. So about 80% of the Hawaiian Kalo varieties went extinct. So here are some key characteristics that you want to keep in mind when you're trying to identify a variety. So generally you look at the height and the growth form. So whether the plant is spreading, and that just means if the oha are close and crowding the makua or parent plant, or if they're further apart. The petiole color, also very important. The leaf blade, so the shape of it, the margin, the sinus, and the vein color. Also the corm size and the color of the flesh is important, and some varieties will have certain fibers in the flesh that kind of distinguish the variety from other varieties. And then vegetative reproduction, so whether it produces runners, long slender rhizomes to produce the next plant. suckers or corm offshoots. This is the most common form of reproduction. And then branching, so offshoot corms that branch from the parent corm at the top of the corm. And this is a characteristic of the mono variety. Okay, so here are some leaf shapes. So Kalo usually has a sagittate leaf. So this is a good example, the one on the upper right corner, or ovate leaves, which if you look on the left photo, the bottom right-hand corner. And then also some varieties will split to the pico. The sinus will split to the pico. This is a characteristic of pico varieties. And then types of vegetative reproduction. So this is what I was talking about, the runners. So here's a long, slender rhizome, this one in the upper left. And this is a rare form of reproduction. Most varieties don't produce oha with rhizomes. The more common form of reproduction is suckers, which grow right off of the parent plant or the makua. Sometimes you get dormant suckers like this one down on the left side, and then on the right is a branched corm. So this is a characteristic of the mana group. So there are a lot of varieties growing in Waihole Valley, but I wasn't able to document all of them. So the ones that I did document were the Aveu. This is a wild variety. Bunlong, a Chinese variety. Manalaloa. There's some controversy on whether this is true Hawaiian Manalaloa. And then Moi, the Waihole Moi. Moi Kea, a larger variety of Moi. Palehua, a Maui Lehua hybrid. Pililoha, and then Yet Lapar. But there's also some other varieties that weren't documented. So Haukea, Lena Lena, Lihi Lihi Molina, a New Caledonian variety, Pololu, and Picokea. So these ones that weren't documented just weren't mature enough to harvest yet. So some characteristics of Aveu: it's a very tall variety. It spreads far because it produces runners. The petiole is light green flecked with dark green and white near the base. And the petiole edge is pink. The leaf blades narrowly ovate with a narrow sinus. The corm is large with white flesh and yellow fibers. Produces runners. And this is how you can distinguish it from other similar looking varieties, because most varieties don't produce runners. It was formerly distributed in a wild state along streams and mountains. And so Aveu is commonly used to refer to wild kalo, and this particular variety may actually be Iole Ka'a. So here is a photo. You can see the pink petiole edge. It's pretty light green petiole in general. And then here you can see the leaf, a narrowly ovate leaf with narrow sinus. And here you can see a runner. It's like a trailing rhizome. And so these two plants are produced by runners. And here's a longer runner. So on the right here, you have the parent plant or the makua, and then the runner goes out. And here you have on the left, the oha, or the new plant. And here's a photo of the corm. And if you look close, you can see it has yellow fibers. It's a relatively large corm. So bunlong, key characteristics. This is also a pretty tall variety. It is spreading. It doesn't produce runners though, so it doesn't spread as much as the Aveu. The petiole is green near the base and a light purple near the leaf. And then at the point where the petiole and the leaf join, it's usually a dark purple. The leaf blades ovate with a narrow sinus, and the pico is purple. The corm is medium in size with white flesh and conspicuous purple fibers. This is diagnostic and reproduced by suckers. So here you can see on the left, if you look, the petiole goes from like a green to like a light purple, and then a purple near right at the leaf. Here you can see a photo of the leaf, and here are the fibers. And most varieties do not produce corms with these purple fibers. So this is how you can distinguish this variety. So general characteristics of Manalaloa: it's a medium-sized plant, somewhat spreading to clustered. The petiole is dark green at the base to dark purple green as you kind of move up the plant. It has a white petiole sheath edge near the base and a pinkish purple petiole sheath edge near the leaf. The leaf blade is ovate. The corm is medium. The flesh is white with a pink tinge. And if you take a cross section of the corm at the apex or the top of the corm, it's pink. Reproduces by suckers. So mana means branching, and this particular Kalo variety in Waiahole Valley doesn't tend to branch. So there's some dispute on whether it's the Hawaiian Manalaloa. And it could also be Fa'ele'ele, which is a Samoan variety that looks very similar. So here you can see this particular plant is pretty clustered around the makua, which is like the plant in the middle. And you can see the petiole, it's dark greenish purple. And here's another plant, but not so clustered, more spreading, not quite mature yet. And then here we have the ovate leaf, and you can see here it has a medium corm. And here, if you look at the cross section of the corm, you can see it has a pinkish tinge. So moi kea, key characteristics. This is generally a large variety. It grows tall, moderately spreading. The petiole is uniformly bright green with ovate leaves, large corm with white flesh, and it reproduces by suckers. To tell the difference between this variety of moi and the Waiahole moi, this moi is a lot larger, and also its color is different. It's a different shade of green. So here we have moi kea. This is not yet a mature plant. And here we have a picture of the leaf. So here you can see the oha somewhat spreading from the makua. I wasn't able to get a cross section of the corm because it wasn't quite ready to harvest. So moi, Waiahole moi, this is a medium-sized plant, moderately spreading. The petiole is grayish, dull green. The leaf blades ovate. The corm is medium to large. The flesh is white at the base, and when you take a cross section near the top of the corm, it has a pinkish tinge, and it reproduces by suckers. So here you can see the oha moderately spreading from the parent plant. Here you can kind of see the grayish green color of the petiole, and that's how you distinguish this variety from the other moi, the moi kea. Here we have a photo of the leaf, and here you can see the corm. It's hard to see in this photo, and this was also a cross section taken at the bottom, so it doesn't have much of a pink tinge. So palehua key characteristics. Just want to make sure my mic's working. Okay, so it is tall and spreading. The petiole is dark purple at the base, and most of the petiole is dark purple, but it turns green near the leaf. So the leaf blade is ovate with purple leaf veins, and this is diagnostic because most of the other varieties in Waiahole Valley do not have purple veins. So the corm is large, the flesh is white with a pink apex, and the fibers are slightly pink, reproduces by runners. This is also how you can tell the difference between this variety and other varieties that may look similar. And it is thought to be that this is a hybrid of Maui Lehua. So it was a cross between Garuch, a variety from Palau that's resistant to Phytophthora, and Maui Lehua. So here you can see an oha, and it was produced by a runner. You can see the remnants of the makua here, and this other plant is growing further away. And also here you can see the purple petiole and the purple veins. You can see the purple veins too, and the shape of the leaf. Here you can just see another example of a runner growing off of the parent plant. And here is a cross section with you can see the pinkish fibers. And then on the right, you can see the size of the corm. They're very large. Okay, Pili Loha key characteristics. So this is a small to medium sized plant, usually grows clustered. The petiole is light yellowish green with a pink edge, and at the base of the petiole, it's light pink. The leaf is narrowly ovate with a narrow sinus, and the margin is undulate. So that just means that the edge of the leaf is wavy. The corm is small to medium with white flesh. It reproduces by suckers. There's another variety that wasn't documented, Lihi Lihi Molina. It looks very similar to Pili Loha. You cannot tell the difference when you're looking at plants. But when you take a cross section of a Lihi Lihi Molina corm, there's actually a purple band of fibers in the upper part of the corm, and that's how you distinguish the two, because Pili Loha doesn't have these purple fibers in the corm. So here you can see the plant is clustered. All of the oha are pretty tightly packed around the makua plant. You can see the narrowly ovate leaf with the undulate leaf margin. And then here you see the green, yellowish green petiole with a pink edge, and at the base there it's a light pink. Here you can see a cross section of the corm. Okay, Yutlapar. So this is a medium variety, medium in size, spreading. The petiole is red near the base to light green near the leaf, and the petiole is speckled with small dark red specks. That's diagnostic. So the leaf blade is ovate. The corm is medium to large, usually large, and there's the flesh is white with yellow fibers. It reproduces by suckers. And this may be a Micronesian variety. So here you can see the size of the corm in the ground, and also the red petiole fading to like a greenish color as you move up the plant. And on the right here, if you zoom in, you can actually see, or if you look close, you can see the dark red specks. And here we have a leaf, and here's a corm with those somewhat yellow fibers. And here are my references. Thank you.